First up is Mr. Nader. You have the floor for 5 minutes, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and through you, thank you to our witnesses for joining us today. I want to clarify a few points because I'm rather troubled by what I've heard here this morning. So, to understand this, a senior Government of Canada official came to KPMG and said, "We know you have the qualifications to perform $400,000 worth of cybersecurity assessments, but we're not going to contract with you directly. Instead, we want you to go through this two-person basement firm, which will also take a $90,000 cut, rather than dealing directly with CBSA." Am I understanding this correctly? A senior government official came to you and said, go through GC Strategies. Is that correct?
The government official asked us to submit a proposal for the cybersecurity work to GC Strategies.
Is this something that you've experienced personally in the past, where a government official has directed you outside of the direct contracting connection relationship to a third party, for lack of a better phrase, middleman, middle company?
Thank you again for your question. KPMG is often asked to subcontract by small, medium and large-scale organizations where they do not have the capabilities to deliver on the specific piece of work or the requirements, and where they feel as though KPMG can deliver the work at a very high quality level. So subcontracting is not unusual for us.
I want to follow up on that, though, but here's the concern. I'm not going to quibble about KPMG's ability to deliver on contracts. Obviously, you're a large, successful firm. There's no question about that. Where I have a concern is that GC Strategies is not an IT firm. They don't have capabilities, period. And so it's not a matter of subcontracting for another like-minded business or similar business. This is a subcontract from someone who had no capabilities. Did this not raise any flags whatsoever that this was being subcontracted, that the government of Canada was asking you to, instead of contracting directly, to go through a third-party, GC Strategies, which had no capabilities to do this contract, which you were qualified to do?
Thank you. And again, as mentioned earlier, at the time we did follow our strict client engagement processes and practices. And at the time of the engagement, there was nothing that stood out as peculiar from those processes and practices that we followed in following the instructions from the government and contracting with GC Strategies on this specific piece of work, and at a time that was unprecedented, and it was an opportunity to help Canadians, and we complied with the ask.
I just think Canadians might be concerned by what seems to be a very cozy relationship that GC Strategies seem to enjoy with senior government officials, where contracts are being awarded through third parties to make this work. We know hundreds of these middlemen type company are being used. I want to address one final point before I run out of time, though, and that's about developing details and the specifics of contracts. Has KPMG ever helped the government draft calls for proposals that you then bid on?
Thank you very much for the member's question, and the answer is no, KPMG has not participated in that process.
And would that be something that would be outside of the normal practice for a firm like yours or any other firm, or ought it to be?
Thank you very much for the member's question. Vast majority of the work that we would do for the government, whether it's federal, provincial, or municipal level, is competitively bid work through requests for proposals. And as I said before, we would not be involved in developing those kinds of qualifications or criteria in advance of an RFP.
I want to quickly address the issue of cybersecurity work that you undertook. The Auditor General noted some concerns with cybersecurity work in general, wherein reliability security status was not held by those who undertook the work. Was your firm fully qualified and fully cleared in terms of reliability security clearance?
Thank you, Mr. Nader. That is your time.